Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Star Technology. So, here we are today, episode 13, and you'll notice that the camera is presently zoomed in and panned down for a reason. Well, like I said I would, off camera, I went and designed a new base situation. Now we're not going to move into it this episode, because I want to get some more 8U2 stuff going, and then I can start making some ingredients and such that I can then start moving everything as need be. But let's go ahead and zoom out. Oop, there we go. So this is the kind of situation that I was thinking, and it's still going. So I don't know if this is going to be like the final form this takes, but I kind of like this look so far, you know? Like, it kind of limits how much I can do on each of the platforms there. I believe they're 18 by 18, but I mean, I know this pack is going to have a lot of big multi-blocks, so that's why there's that outer perimeter that I'm thinking about expanding to. So, and who knows, this might even go a whole other, 2 other sections and then some. I'm going to need a lot of space eventually for the big stuff. So, we'll see how this works. I might have to do some tweaking as I move in and whatnot. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool so far. But yeah, so let's get into today's episode. First thing before that, you'll notice that the music playing in the background was a little different than the prior Minecraft music. I am experimenting with some YouTube audio library stuff. I think I have made sure that this music that I am playing is non-attributable, so I don't have to credit it. It's like open use and such. So I think the only thing that would change maybe is that YouTube puts a description or something in the video. So yeah. Okay. So let's open up the old clipboard here and cover what I already have done off camera. So, fluid filters. Yes, so GregTech has fluid filters, which basically allow fluids to, be blocked or allowed through GregTech pipes. Now, the reason I did that was for a very niche reason. I had this little pipe situation here where, fluid's coming out of here. I had to loop it around, at least at the moment, because it was getting clogged. But now I have these little filters here, but it won't be like this for much longer because we'll have AE2. Anyway, MV solidifier. Yes, so I needed the medium voltage solidifier for some reason or another. Probably tempered glass processing or what have you. Skystone maker. Oh yeah, so here's a fun thing. I got really tired of making the skystone dust after a while, you know what I mean? And it turns out there's a much better way to make it. The rock breaker, right? So you have the resin and ender and lava in the open world around the rock breaker powered by GregTech, and all you need is a single skystone dust to replicate, well, the block version. But hey, not a big deal. We just go into the grinder and you'll see that we have a little skystone maker here, and there should be plenty of skystone in here, so that will be good going forward. Next, prep for 8E2 crafting, interfaces, and pattern providers. So that is already checked off. So yeah, interfaces, pattern providers, and AE2 crafting. So what that means, I did a lot of skystone metals creating, and printed circuits and the processors that come from it. Now, there might not be a whole lot in here, but that's because I made some blocks for today's AE2 expansion. We got the pattern providers, we got interfaces. I should probably grab these out of there so that quest book counts it. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Put away this stuff here. Pattern providers, interfaces. Oh yeah. Crafting units. So these are crucial for auto crafting. Namely, we're going to be needing crafting co-processing units, and we're going to be needing crafting storage, right? So 4Ks, 16, yada yada, goes on. Now the whole thing with the co-processing units is kind of interesting. See, if we go to the quest book, go to AE2 here, you'll see this like upper row of blocks or quests, and then we have the lower row. I can speak. So if we look at the 4 times crafting unit right here, and we look at the usages of this, well, it can be broken down into 2 blocks. It's a really strange way to do it, but hey, whatever, it's fine. And then, what was that other thing that I was looking at? Oh yeah, this. Oh, okay, that's the other way of doing it. Right. Anyway, so we'll have to get that going. But I did get some crafting units ready to go, like I said. We're going to need a canning machine on the MV, so I waited to do that for today. And then some processors. So conversely, for the 4K crafting storage, we're going to need 4K components. Right? Well, I have some 4K components here. I'm only going to be making like 4 4Ks. So I have, you know, more than one crafting process allowable at one time. Let's go ahead and grab that. And I think for the engineering was for the coprocessor, right? Correct. All right, but still, we're going to need that canner. So let's look into that, shall we? And I don't know how much of this is going to be doable off the bat. There is some jank with AE2 and EMI, or maybe it's just me going crazy. But I was finding I was having a hard time in shift clicking recipes from EMI window into AE2. So I might just have to do things manually until we can get auto crafting going. And I think we're just about having everything here. All right, so that's side note. I'm glad that the YouTube audio autoplays, so that's pretty cool. All right, so won't be doing this manually crafting stuff much longer, but it is what it is. Something else that I want to tackle today is turning our lapidary boiler dynamos, rather, into lapidary boilers. And oh, wait, hold on. There we go. So that we can get. Well, I guess I want to say we do get more power to a degree, but we're also going back into steam power. And before we do that, I also want to get a, what's it called? A fluid cell, right? We've made these before, but they can be upgraded with augments. So we could probably go with like the MV expanded tank kit, and I don't know. Okay, so the LV does 8 times, and then the medium voltage does another. I don't know if that's cumulative or multiplicative, 8 and 12, but we'll see, I guess. Okay, am I gonna add? Okay, no, we don't need to worry about another cable. Okay, cool. Oh, grab you. Get that out of the way. Scusi. Yeah, wait, hold on. Are you serious? Wait. Yeah, what the hell? See what I mean? There's some weird jank going on. Look, I don't know if this is... I think this is just a general issue. But if there is something that I need to tweak and any of y'all know, let me know. Anyway. Candy machine, baby. Shiza, I didn't grab any signalum cable. You know, screw it. We're here. We'll just do it like this. Alright, so half of you are gonna go to 4K units. And then the other half will go to co-processing units. Now, if I wanted to make a 4K, 4 times, I would need a couple of these now, wouldn't I? Look, steel. Yes. I don't think I'm gonna be too concerned about speed on early game stuff right now. But like once we get a foothold in processes, in resources and all that, yeah, then yeah, I'll care more about that. Okay, so boop, right? And that's, yep, okay, cool. Now that's being made up. Let's get rid of some junk up in here. All right, so get that. Yay. So the real question is where to put these crafting units and such temporarily. Although, I don't know. It might be just a better idea to start moving things upward. And before we do that, I want to get the boiler situation configured. Okay, let's pivot here. In order to get auto crafting, we're also going to need molecular assemblers. These are going to go hand in hand with the pattern providers, because we'll be putting patterns into the providers and they provide the pattern to these assemblers, and these assemblers will craft an item for us, an item that at least is craftable in a table. So let's see how much of these would be doable. We don't have that many cores. Do I have any logic circuits? Yes. Silicon, yes. There it is. Okay, so what's the deal here? I guess I need glass and lots of it. Yeah, this is kind of annoying that I don't have EMI being super useful right now. Let's just grab some of the stuff here and just go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna need to get some logic processors cooked up, some glass and all that. I will go ahead off camera and get these molecular assemblers. And then the other thing that we want to do is get fluid cells. And these aren't that bad. With the fluid cells... Lizzie? Oh, wait, hold on. What? That's... that? Oh, I see. The canner. Right. So we're going to want to get fluid cells. Now, what's the workbench situation? Okay, that's not bad. Like I was saying, we're going to want to get fluid cells. Because if that's... I could easily then... Oh, sorry, I had a brain fart. We take the steam that we make in our lapidary dynamos, right? And we will send it into our AE2 system. And that way we can send steam to dynamos placed around our base. And that way we have kind of a form of centralized power. Not really centralized, but you know, we can get power around the area. At least up until the later game, when we have things like the power substation, which can transmit power over lasers. But that's like ZPM situation. So I think this should work. Now, in order to get fluid in and out, I could get a little cheaty. Not cheaty in the literal sense, but use laser IO to pull and push the fluid in and out of the dynamos into our AE2 system and go off of that. But if I do this, I'm gonna have to like start migrating our base stuff up here, right? And my idea was to have like the AE2 room, I guess, be kind of under here, like making a little small room. So I might need to like, you know, start putting cobblestone down here, pillar wise, and make a box to put everything. But I might have to change that idea later. That being said, though, eventually we are going to be getting rid of this lower platform, so this could be expanded, possibly even made to go lower and have like sections in this little tower situation, you know? Anyway, I've done enough rambling. Let me go off screen. I'm gonna go and craft some things up and we'll go from there. Back in a few. Hey everybody, we are back. Okay, so I think I have a plan in mind and how we're gonna tackle the migration. It's gonna be a little sloppy at first because I have to get everything settled and situated, right? And then I can start working on resources to make more components. Would it be cables, wires, power converters, whatever. So up here, I've started to plan out the basics of how I'm gonna set things up. So you'll notice I have this soul infused cable, plug it into our controller. We're gonna have the dynamos here. We're gonna have the lapidary boilers right here. And then there's the water situation, right? So I'll have the energy cells coming up here, right? And I've decided to go out this way to our first platform. And this will probably be where the LV and medium voltage machines will be. And this time, I will try to make a better effort of replacing old voltage machines, at least getting them up to the IV standard for any single block stuff. But, you know, the idea is to do multi-block machines if you can help it. Right. So, you know, here is the terminal situation. Oop. So, sorry, I had to do something. So I'm gonna tear out all the LV, all the medium voltage, And we're gonna move everything up onto the platform. Before I do anything, all right, there's no power there. Gonna get a chesticle. There we go. Come up here. Oop, not there. Come up here. Go boop. Boop. How do you do this? Let me try this again. Boop, boop. Okay, there we go. I guess that the buckle or whatever is not aligned or whatever. It's gonna have a problem. I'm just gonna put some crap in there. All right. So now I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna tear out all of the voltage stuff, or the low voltage machines, the medium voltage machines. Right, so I'm gonna need to factor these converters in as well. And then the transformer situation. But I will do what I can to get everything going. Yeah, so again, the idea eventually is I'll be having steam stored in the AE2, and that will be sent out to various locations to be to power some, you know, dynamos on other platforms. But for right now, I'm just kind of getting the basics going so that I can do more progression. All right, so I will see you all in a few. Oops, my mouse went to my other screen. Hey, everybody. We're back. Okay, so before I get into what I did, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this quest here. I'm going to disable the daylight cycle so it's always going to be day. Now, if we do ever do solar panel power, I will turn it back on, but for the sake of the video, I want it to be daytime. Okay, so I went ahead and set everything up on a platform. You can see we have the cable going all the way out here, and then it branches off into different parts of the platform with a converter system going over here to both our blast furnace and the sieve. Now again, this is all subject to change. I'm still trying to think what to do with these small platforms. I feel like I made them a little bit too small, in which case the inner ring here, if you will, is going to be mostly dedicated to single block machines and other similar processes. And then as far as like out here on the outer ring goes, these will probably be a lot wider. If those are 18 wide, these might be like 36 wide or something, or maybe like 37 to make it even. Or I'll figure out some number. And then later on, the bigger machines, like the rows and rows of blast furnaces that we're going to need, will be on these platforms out here. And I want to say I'll also make them more long and less square. It's more rectangular, basically. I'll have to see. I don't want it to be the, well, Again, things might change later, but I could just have things where each of these northeast, south, and west bigger quadrants will be designed for a particular machine situation. EBFs, LCRs. But then we're going to have, you know, big boy machines down the road. Large multi-blocks. So, you know, they might be going over there. LCRs over there. Whatever else over here. Blast furnaces over here. But again, I'll have to see. It might just be the case that we make large giant platforms and then eventually do another outward ring. But we'll see how things go. That being said, we have all the MV machines, the LV machines all set up. Now, I think we could start getting the auto crafting going. So we have these. I'll take 5 of these for the time being. Right? And there's our 4Ks, our copros. Excuse me. So maybe like we start things out here. Or rather, let's go with this platform. No, I'd rather do a quadrant right now. And then we'll worry about everything else later. So let's see. Let's do. That should be enough to get us started, I want to say. But we could also do. Oops. That. And then we'd fill in pattern providers on the corner as we get more. And then over here, then boop, right? And then that, like that, like that. Now, because we don't need to really worry about having a great deal of larger CPUs, if you will, these big, you know, well, right now they're kind of small, but these multi-blocks. Eventually, we can just up the co-crafter, the co-processing, and up the crafting storage, so they don't really need to be all that big. So they're more compact, I guess, in that sense. All right. So we're gonna want to dig out here. And I didn't think I brought any cable on me. Let's pop back over here. Boop-a-doo. Where did all my Fluix cable get to? I know I had a great deal more than that. It wouldn't be down here somewhere, would it? God, this is the moment where I wish. I don't think we have that thing that finds items in your world. Did I maybe put it? Oh, you know what? It might be right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Whew. I was about to lose my damn mind. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Let's do it like so. And that... Oh, well, that works. I was going to come back there and put it there anyway. Wrench. Get rid of you. Okay. So that's hooked up. And then over here, somewhere... You should be the middle, I want to say. Mm-hmm. There we go. Now... Whoop. Okay. Now, that's the question. Do I want to do something where it's like this, where it hugs the platform? I think it would be prettier. Prettier and cleaner, I guess. Those are online. Those are online. Good, good, good. So now, if we hit this crafting window. Wait, did I miss hooking up one? Okay, I see. Boop. Okay. So now, if we come back over, yeah, you can see we have all the CPUs. Now, that's something that I saw someone do in another Minecraft pack. I wonder if I can do something like that. I don't know if that's the right way to name them, but let's see. No? Do I need to do it? Oh, it's probably have to do the CPU itself or the crafting storage itself, not the co-unit. Okay, I don't know. Are you able to rename them somehow? Anyway. Not a big deal. There we go. Get everything resituated back into our system. Oh, that should go back into the sieve, the mechanical sieve. Input. Then I gotta figure out a situation there. Although I do have interfaces now, so I could grab a few of these, right? And we'll grab our cable. The output, yes. Like that. Get up the... Thank you. Okay, so here's the question. How do we want to route Fluix? Fluix is all the way over here. We could bring it out here on this side as well. And any straggler pieces of cable, oops, I'll take care of. Right, and then honestly, it would make the most sense to do a cross intersection kind of situation. That. Then come over this way. Okay, let's see. You are over there. Okay, now and voila. You are online. Good, good. Okay, so now if we put any CV materials into our bus, which, you know, I should have grabbed a interface, but not a big deal. Not too concerned right now. But yeah, now we can just pipe things in there and they'll get piped back out into our system. Of course, the problem is making sure that we have enough resources to keep our machines powered. That's for that reason things are going to be a little bit manual for a bit until I can figure out a situation for resources. Now, Cobbleworks. I don't know if there's a particular machine. Ooh, look, there is. Large sieve. So that's an EV situation. At least I know we'll be able to get large amounts of materials like that in the HV EV era. Yeah, so we're gonna need EV to make the block itself. But anyway, for the time being, we can work with forge hammers. Now, I think there is a mod called modular routers. And I think with this, we could do a little bit of routing of cobblestone, gravel, all that good stuff. But I'll have to do like a research into this mod. Maybe there's a YouTube tutorial out there I can watch where I can just have it connected to like a tower of forge hammers like I used to do in my other Let's Play series. And it will get moved around into each of the forge hammers, get turned into gravel, dirt, gravel, sand, dust, and whatever else. And then from there, I'd be able to say, put a drawer system and connect that to our AE2. Oh, sorry, stretching. So we could be aware of what we have at all times and then send it over into a sieve. So yeah, I guess for the time being, I'm just gonna need to always have some resources on hand. So you are out of materials, but we have a great deal of power. Now these are only with the LV upgrade kits. So something that I should probably do is go ahead and get some MV upgrade kits. And that will effectively double how much power, because right, this is gonna be 6, and then once we put the MV in, it goes from 6 to 12. So we'll have, you know, 12 million for doodad there. Then the HV, that would be 24, but we're not there yet. We still need to get into HV alone. So yeah, it'll be a bit, not too long, but a bit. Okay, so originally I was going to have that steam come into the AE2. And that's still a possibility. I just need to get everything else going first. Right. And for that reason, these platforms might end up having a basement and then dynamos feeding the room above. I think that could work out. So let's see. I think we've done a great job today at base improvements. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to do some. Well, these can all stay down here, I guess. I still need to move an ore factory. Also, one of these. But the other thing that we still need to get to is the multi-smelt. You know what? Screw it. Let's get this done on camera now today, so that then I can use this in the off-camera time to do any smelting and the like. So we're gonna need. Oh shoot. That's gonna be a little bit more work than I thought. But that also reminds me, I think I did kind of prepare for this in a way. Not enough, but a way. I made the basic circuit assembler off camera. And yeah, you are still bouncing around. Let's go ahead and plop you there. Shiza. Yeah. So the basic circuit assembler will now be able to make electronic circuits more cheaply. Before we had to do it like this. Now we can do it with tin or soldering, red alloy wire, resistors, tubes, and a board, which don't have to worry about cabling rubber. Don't need to worry about the steel. So yeah, it's a little bit nicer. I'll say that for sure. And then with that, once we make that circuit, then we can make the good circuit, the good electronic circuits, or the MV tier circuits with diodes, circuits, boards, copper wire, no more copper cable, and they're soldering in tin. So multi-smelter, going back to what I was talking about with this HV circuits, that is going to be with the MV tier, and then we're going to need these chips, which I think we already covered, electrum wire, and annealed copper with transistors. Now, annealed copper is just going to be oxygen with copper in a arc furnace. The transistors, on the other hand, they are silicon plates and fine tin. Okay. You know what? Stop it. Let's get this done on camera today, or multi-smelter made. So then I'm really just gonna need heat-proof input buses, voltage, and I'll probably do a medium voltage singular. We'll see. I might have to do 2 hatches, but I don't know. That being said, though, let me go ahead. I'm going to get these circuits crafted up off camera, and then we will come back and get this multi-smelter crafted on camera. Okay. With that being said, I'll be back in a few. Hey, everybody. We're back. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to end things off here and continue in the next episode. As I was going through the process of looking up or making the circuits to make the controller block, I realized we don't have polyethylene yet. So that's unfortunate. And I think we are definitely going to be needing that. I don't think there's any way around it right now. Let's see, what was it? It was the HV circuits, right? There's no. Okay, so there is no other way to get those right now. So next episode, we are gonna have to come back and hold on. Where is it? Resource. Okay. I don't think this is it. Progression. I think this is it. If I can find it. There we go. Polyethylene. Yes. So we're gonna have to get some enter a biochaff. Oh yes, the fermenting casket. That might be a good thing to look at, actually. Is there sugarcane on there? Don't think so. We could do carrot or wheat. Alright, I don't see sugarcane. Sugarcane. No. So anyway, there's biochaff through that route, and we would get the ethanol. Although at the time, I don't think we need to worry about the ethanol. We would take the biochaff, and ideally, brewery it. Into the biomass. And then, oh, there's also ethanol. Can alternatively be made with basins. See the first chapter for reference. And then there's the ethylene, the vinyl chloride. Oh, down here is a polyethylene. Right, so Ethylene comes from sulfuric and ethanol. So maybe it's a good idea we do go for that other method. By going for the cask here. Fermenting casket, and that's really not that bad. Actually, hold on. Is there a higher tier? No. Okay, darn. I was hoping there would be another way. Alright. That's wheat kvass, sweet corn beer, sake, berry, apple cider. Right, so ethanol and the biochaff. We could change up that farm that we have to do like carrots or something. And then it will give us chaff. It gives us ethanol. With the chaff, we can make biomass. With biomass, that's a chemical reactor. Fermenter. More ethanol. And then the ethanol, we take sulfuric acid. Now it's going to be an MV situation. We get ethylene, we get diluted sulfuric acid, so we're going to need a way to reprocess the diluted. And then once we get the ethylene, then we mix it with air or oxygen, really, to get liquid polyethylene. Now oxygen, that's easy. Gas collector. So we have AE2, we have fluid cells. I'm probably going to be making a few more fluid cells, their own separate fluid cells. Gonna have them all named so I can easily just pull them out of the drive and go from there. So there'll be some setup before our next episode. But that being said, I think we're going to end off for today. Excuse me. I hope you did enjoy. And if you did, please leave a like or comment down below if you feel I've earned it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ta for now.